We understand an upside-down world, but they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is gonna fix all this? We will, because our future is the future. So we're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day, and feed those left in the cold. We're going to do all this and more, because we have an appointment with destiny.
All right, let's move on to Division One, Mission Bay and San Diego. I will do the caveat, as I do on this show, with you are allowed to opt out of this one for direct involvement if you do not wish to discuss that one. The other game is Country Day and Del Norte.
Yeah,
Mission
well,
Bay
I'm
is
gonna
the 1 and Del Norte is the 2. I think though that this is a one of the two teams in the top game will win, and then La Jolla Country Day final. Your thoughts on all of this?
Well, I think a lot depends on disciplinary issues, what happens with Del Norte in the next couple of next 24 hours. So at the beginning of the fourth quarter of their blowout win over San Marcos, there was a fracas that broke out. I think Zion Applewhite had gotten fouled, and he took umbrage to the extras and threw an elbow at one of the San Marcos players, and then a scrum converged. Applewhite was one of the players ejected, and of course that means if you're ejected, you can't play your next game. That takes a guy who scored 17 points in that quarterfinal win out of their lineup, and their tallest player and their second leading rebounder. It really hurts them, and I think that La Jolla Country Day, who beat them early, they split games, both teams. La Jolla Country Day opened up a can of whoop ass that first game against them, and then Del Norte returned the favor a week later at the Bucks Thanksgiving Classic. But I think not having Applewhite in the lineup, if he's not able to get that suspension reverse, that really hurts him. I think La Jolla Country Day will take advantage. Meanwhile, over at Mission Bay San Diego, I will opine about this one because I am at least a step removed from my kid playing there. I think that Mission Bay will win this one. They get to host this game. They got to get guys back healthy though. I mean, they've had between COVID and pneumonia, they've had guys that have missed games during the playoffs, but they've been able to soldier out some wins. That win against Poway, being shorthanded was really impressive because Poway had come into that game playing really good basketball. I think hosting that game means a lot. I do, San Diego is going to make this a game. It's going to be a game that's decided by a crazy call or, some type of wild swing at the end. It's going to be within like 2 possessions. It's going to be a great game. I probably will go to that game on Tuesday. I still will pick Mission Bay to make it to the D1 finals. And it's interesting that we're talking about Mission Bay being in the D1 finals because I honestly felt that this is an open division caliber team, who just the numbers did not pencil out at the end, and that was unfortunate.
They are the 1 seed in D1, so they, of any 1 seed in any of these brackets, should be the ones in the most control of a playoff bracket.
Yeah,
my understanding, because you're taking the top 8 above them that are in their division and moving them on to the open. So yes, I am with you that they could have been an open division team. I don't say should have about any of it because the math is wonky as hell sometimes, and or whatever, strength of schedule with a loss or a win and an injury and a sickness and a grades thing. I don't care. But yeah, if you're the 1 seed in D1, I think there's more expectations on you than there are on any of the other brackets. I would argue even more expectations than there are on the 1 seed in the open division, which is our last one to talk about.